Hi everybody. How's it going? Thanks again for the food. Our office is at Cambie and Water Street, and they're at Pender and Abbott, as they made mention. So I frequent there. He's got massive burritos that are honestly the size of your head that you could actually take down, but as he was saying, you like walk out of there. You don't roll out of there. So I'm really excited to hear about him expanding because it's really good food. So if you haven't been, and there's tons of things on the menu, so yeah, recommend going. Thanks again for having me, Shaun.
Okay. David, I guess what we're excited to find out is the process, the improvements that you've seen in your business and the expansion as far as bringing employees. What are some of the challenges that you've had in bringing them in, and what are some of the success points that you've seen in creating that demand for your service that you had to hire more staff to really entertain it?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a mortgage broker, and that's what I started doing 8 years ago. And if anybody knows the mortgage broker industry, typically it's a one-person operation, a one-person show. That's how I operated for the first 3 years in the business, really kind of just like learning the ground level grassroots of it, getting a file done and structuring it that way. And you know, over the years, just to kind of put it into a little bit of perspective, the average mortgage broker as an individual, they might do something like $5 to $7 million in mortgage volume a year, funded mortgages. Last year with myself and a couple others, we were able to do just over 56 million. So, so we've been able to grow in size, mostly to speak on the business development side. It was sticking to certain really good basics, right? So a lot of people, they talk about, you know, get your mission statement together, you know, get your vision statement together. And of course we did that, but we had a lot of, we went a little bit deeper, and I wanted to figure out, you know, what are my core values as a person, and then what are our core values as an organization. And so right from the start, it was doing business with integrity. When I first started, I was 22 years old. There's not a chance that I could tell you what your credit bureau said, but I was supposed to pull your credit bureau and then give you advice, right? So I started by mentoring under somebody who had a lot of years in the banking industry. But if I were to come to you as a 22-year-old kid, you'd say, why would I use you? And my response always was, well, you know, I've got a lot of integrity. You can trust me. You can trust the fact that, you know, I don't know the answer and I'm upfront about the answer, but I'll go find it for you. And so over the last 8 years, being resourceful and following through on what we said we were going to do, that was what's helped in at least get the business started. Then, not to put the cart before the horse, of course, the business development side is excellent as a result, but we were very systems driven, and so we wanted to create a process around the actual mortgage brokering side of the business. So as a mortgage broker, you wear a lot of hats. You're the admin, you're your own bookkeeper and accountant, you're your own underwriter, client service, business development person. So actually spending time systematically creating those job descriptions and those roles, I was able to expand out and just hire one person at a time. So, you know, if I needed help on the underwriting side, okay, I got an underwriter. If I needed help on the admin side, okay, I got an admin. I got a client service rep. Now we're hiring inside sales, outside sales, operations manager. And we're starting to grow the business as though you would with any other structured organization. And, but doing that as a mortgage broker. So it's a little bit of a different structure and a different organization now than when I first started. And just kind of having that idea of, you know, I want a team and I want people on board that see the big picture and agree with my core values as a person and my core values of an organization. We're able to fit them into those pieces of the puzzle.
Quick question. You mentioned that you were, for a lot better term, a lone ranger in regards to your industry, and I'd have to parallel that as well. Myself, I started selling residential real estate back in 2008, so it's 9 years, and it's a pretty lonely business. You can really be doing everything by yourself. And I find I've been taught that really, in regards to my time being spent on my business, and as far as money-making time. But when you're developing a team, you're doing a lot of structuring and planning that is not money-making time. How did you find the balance of that time? And then also also the fact you're expanding, now you've got a whole financing aspect of it as far as budgeting, because you have excess mouths to make sure that you're feeding here. How did you find the preparation and the sacrifice of that money and time?
Sure. Well, it took a long time, and I knew that I had to be patient, which is the opposite of a lot of my characteristics. But I was on my own building business for the first 3-4 years. It was only really in the last 4 years that I started expanding with adding other people and adding other layers to the business. So, you know, I got the business up to a sustainable level where, you know, we were starting to clip along with me and somebody else and producing about the $250,000, 300,000 or so marker, and then started expanding after that. I couldn't afford it. You know, I started hiring people on splits at first versus now everybody's on salary plus bonus. So it really is just kind of like evolved over time as the needs have kind of come up. But, you know, I mean, I'm still out there, you know, day-to-day boots on the ground, pounding the pavement, and I think I'll probably do that till, you know, the day that I stop being a mortgage broker. But getting the business up to a sustainable level where I knew that I could count on, you know, certain past client referrals. Now 61% of our business comes from past client. Got an awesome past client actually sitting in the audience tonight who's referred business. So getting the business up to a level where we know that we could jump off that next cliff point and actually be okay. I'm okay making payroll and I'm okay with the day-to-day. But it was definitely a build-up stage first to a point where we could be sustainable in hiring people responsibly.
There was something you mentioned right off that you leaned on resources that you had over the last 8 years, and what kind of comes to mind is having a mentor. And is there a piece of advice that you pass on, again in closing, as we're going to keep moving here, but is, again, we have a room of, I'm sure, very educated, driven people here, and in whatever profession they're in, may have a specialty, you may want to pull off and do something, again, where that, again, it's passionate driven, maybe it's something that they'll do on the side. Any words of wisdom in regards to, okay, I've got this vision, it fits with my values, how can I execute and make that happen?
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, if you take the ego out of anything that you're doing, and you really just truly want to learn and you hunger for that, you've got that fire in your belly just to make things better and evolve, and you've got a vision and you want to succeed with it. I guess probably another good thing about the business development side, and even this business, is I'm unfortunately but fortunately uneducated. I don't have a big background or schooling. You know, if I were to stop this and do something else tomorrow, I have no idea what I'd do because I don't have anything to fall back on. So, you know, but I was always hungry to learn, and I was always asking a lot of questions, and I didn't have an ego where, you know, I thought that I was too smart for something or what have you. If I don't have an answer to something even now, I'll still go and seek that out, and I'll still go and seek out mentorships and build masterminds and be around a lot of people that are smarter than me and hire people that are smarter than me in certain areas that I need them to be competent, and then, you know, just continue to keep really smart people around me, so that I guess, you know, I can in turn through osmosis become smarter in that way too, right?
Awesome. Yeah, I like it. Darren, well, appreciate you coming in. David's got some brochures at the front, and again, the essence of tonight is to be able to mingle and to meet and network and shake hands. So when we're all done, we all have the opportunity to meet other people in the room here as far as residents and business